Hello, Awifians. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to you all, wherever you may be in the world. Today is an amazing day, and I see you all are already here. Ooh, that's.
Ah, okay.
Did you come to see me, or you came to see the princess? That's
Oh, I don't
not
know about
fair.
that.
That's not fair. Already, exactly. So many reactions already. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm in Geneva, Switzerland, and Sister Dr. Fumi is in Dubai or in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. So it's all sunshine, and we are going to be talking about our passion, what is worth, and how we can make the most out of it. If this is the very first time you're watching me live, my name is Lilian Mole. I am the founder and CEO of the African Women Economic and Entrepreneurship Forum, the place where we challenge the status quo for economic advancement of women in Africa. Welcome. I am so happy to be here today with an amazing lady, Princess Fumi. Mr. Fumi, I will call you. I'm not going to call you princess. I'm going to call you sister. You're dear to my heart because of the work you do out there, because of the encouragement you give to women in Nigeria, not only Nigeria, but the USA. And now you've moved to make really spread your wings. And some of your love, you spread it out to me. Thank you so much for all the encouragement. But so many people watching us live may not know who you are. Please help me tell the world who you are.
Wow. Thank you so much. Let me first say this. This has been coming forever, right?
Yes.
Because we have connected probably
Oops. What happened? Just hold on. Let's hold on.
okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we're good.
probably over two years that we've connected. This is what happens, that people are not patient enough. You could have said, you know what, we connected, then nothing happened, then it's over.
Yeah,
But you were persistent, right? You were
yeah,
persistent. And this is what life is about, being
yeah,
persistent about what we want, what we desire. It might not happen the same time that we want it, but when it happens, it's huge. And so thank you for even gracing me with your platform here. I've always had my eye on you. Never forget that. I've always had my eye on you because what you're doing is empowering African women and beyond African women, really, women as a whole, to stand in their own truth. So, who am I? I'm a child of a living God. I just got ordained recently as a reverend under a church. So, thank God for that. But well, I'm a best-selling author. I've written 21 books. 9 have been best-selling by God's grace. Two of them have actually been turned into a movie, Hollywood movie, that I've won about 5 awards in Hollywood by God's grace. And now I'm actually in the throes of writing my 24th. This is my 21st year of being a published author. Hey Abby. So this is my first year of being, my 21st year. So I'm going to be coming out with my 21st silver anniversary book. And so be on the lookout for that. Hey,
exactly.
Dr. E.
You make us proud. You make us proud, and you really make us shine.
Hey,
Thank you
true.
so much.
I'm sorry. I have to say my little haze there. Okay.
Yeah, but thank you so much because yes, it's been over 2 years and we've been trying to connect, to have a live stream, and sometimes we've got to be patient.
That's right.
You know, the best times are not the times that we define for ourselves. We've got to be patient, and I think this is what we lack today, not only as women, but mostly as girls growing up. So many things are predefined. Your mom will tell you, you've got to do this. This is how a woman has to do, has to behave. But you have such a beautiful way of saying, yes, this is how we have to do things. This is how we were educated. But this is who we are. Why did you take that route of speaking your truth?
Well, I tell you what, if you've been through what I've been through in life, you have no choice but to take to decide to stand on your truth. If you've been through suicide ideation, Now, we know this is a big thing all over the world now, where people are just hanging themselves, committing suicides because they are not able to cope. They don't have the coping skills that by God's grace God has given us because we press into him. If you've tried to kill yourself once, if you've tried to look around and there's nothing, everything that you built became zero. I
Yes.
mean, if there's anything like negative zero, yeah, that's where I was. A negative, 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 zero. And you've been to that place and you look in your house and you're left with two babies that are just maybe like 1.5 and 2.5, and you don't know where to go. You are in a town where everybody looks at you as the biggest and the largest employer, and all of a sudden now you're going back to them and begging them for food. If you have been in places like that, if you have watched yourself rise and come down, if you have watched yourself like that, by the time you come out of all that, you have no choice. Hey, perhaps if you have slept on the floor like I have for 3 years with my babies, if you have been homeless before, owned home, lost home, right? Built home, lost home, built businesses, lost businesses. If you have been through all those things, by the time God starts to work in you, you have no choice but to stand in your truth. Now, standing in your truth don't mean that everything is going to be rosy. It's going
Yes.
to mean that there are some people that would they would say, "Hey, we love you for standing in your truth." Medina, welcome. That would say, "Hey, we love you for standing in your truth." And there's some that will say, "Oh, we're not ready for that. We're not ready for that truth. So we're just going to keep going and go to a place where we can just, get the stroke until we're ready." But as women, as children of living God of hosts, regardless of where we are in life, yes, we're going to be depressed. Yes, there's going to be ups. Yes, there's going to be downs. I've never seen anybody that have been up all their life. If they tell you they've been up all their life, then look, fire, liar, liar, pants on fire. Because every time, even when you hit the level that you think that you want to be, there's still another level above that level. And while you're trying to find your way through that level, guess what? Boom, boom, boop. You drop again and then to go back again. Otherwise, there will not be need for God.
Exactly. And within all of this pain, sorrow, torture, there is passion.
Yes.
And you are the specialist of passion. I can talk of my own passion. I can, fumble around with my own words. But when I listen to you, it clicks, it makes sense. So to the mass, could you help me, please? Because I needed you for 2 good years. I'm up here live today to take my mouse, you
Okay.
know.
You know what? I want you to say that again because there are some people that have me for every second and they don't appreciate it. So I want you to say how long it took for you to get me. Say it again.
2 good years.
Thank you.
2 good years. I can prove it to you. I've been asking Sister Fumi, when are we having this class? Oh, I'm traveling, Sister Fumi. Yes, we can do it. And then, okay, I can. 2 good years for us to be here today. 24 months. How many babies could have been born? How many babies have been born within this time? And unfortunately, deaths have happened. I've lost my husband. People have lost theirs.
Wow.
Some have
Wow.
gotten married. 2 good years, 24 months. Let's not weep. Let's rejoice in what.
Wow.
Yeah. It took
Wow.
2 good years for you and I to be here today. And I celebrate this day. So my passion is on, if I did not make it, but at least I did it for 2 years, right? So how can this passion of mine go further? What is the worth of this passion
Well,
of
here's
mine?
the thing.
How can I take it further? What is
Now,
passion?
here's the thing. You have to even be able to define what your passion is. Because unless you can define what your passion is, you're going to have a problem trying to even manifest it, right? And so we manifest what we understand, we manifest what we master. So before you even delve into how do I make my passion work, you have to first figure out what does it mean to me? What does this passion mean to me? Because frankly, you can have a room of 20 women, and I can guarantee you that every woman will define it in a different way. So for you to be able to even get to a point where you can say, okay, let me make this thing work out, you have to define not by circumstances. Don't use your experiences, your life experiences, your past experiences, your whatever. They would help, but don't anchor what your passion is on that alone. You want to use those things as things that will buffer what you really desire. When you watch somebody on the news and you're watching somebody do something, and you get a flutter in your heart, like, oh, I should be doing that. Oh my God, I should be doing that. Well, that's a clue right there that perhaps that is something that you should look into. When you are at a place where no matter what happens, either they pay you, they don't pay you, when they put you on that stage and you run for it, guess what? That's your passion.
Yeah.
That's your passion. When you know that, you know what? Yes, you want to make money, but money is not necessarily the number one goal. Now, when money is the number one goal, that could just be a vision that you have that you want to make happen. Huh? So that's good. There's nothing wrong in making, because the ultimate goal is to own your craft so well, to know your passion so well, to pin it down so well, to master it so well, don't, so that you automatically manifest it. So that
It's,
you are now struggling. Let me give it, look, people who are on here right now, please go out and invite more people. They will tell you this about me. I tear the veil. I call something on my broadcast called tear the veil. I love to just tear the veil. Let me use me as an example today. So I'm writing a book, right? I write I write books for young adults, and I write books for adults. So I got this idea, right? I got this idea that, okay, because I'm a writer, I love to write. Let me just write children's book. Well, well,
I just can.
well. So I began to write. Then I got stuck. And I said, oh, wait a minute. And I kind of tell you what usually would take me like 30 days, 45 days to do. Well, 4 months, I'm stuck in the middle of this thing. So I finally had to reach out to my partner and say, look, sister, uh, this idea that we have, if we keep going this way, I might be successful at one, but I might never do, I might never do more than one. I said, so now this is time to be factual. This is time to be realistic with myself, because
Yes.
I love to talk. I love to describe things. I love to stretch things. I'm not a one word person. So if I'm a one word person, it would have been easier for me to do that book for 2 year old. Quick. 1 word, 2 word, 1 word on the page. But because I love to describe things, I see my creativity is in pictures. It was just difficult for me to do. So, but before I could get to her, she had that thought. I had not even told her, and she said, "Hey, princess, I have this idea for you." And she said exactly what was in my head, the age group that I needed to target. Now, this is where you know, because your passion does not bring pain. All right, your passion. Let me say that again for some people.
Yes.
Your passion does not bring pain.
Yeah.
In fact, when you are in pain, your passion elevates you out of that pain.
Oh.
Your passion, it elevates you out of that pain. If you are one that loves to teach, I don't care how upset, I don't care how turned upside down the world is around you. Once they put you in an atmosphere where you're able to teach, you will just blossom. And
Yes.
people will not even understand that you're going through a lot.
Yeah.
That is why when you see example of TD Jakes, when he tells his story, how when he started off, his shoes had holes in them. Holes. Right? His feet was touching the ground through the shoes, and he was traveling from church to church to teach and teaching on prosperity. Get that? Teaching on prosperity. And he don't have money to even pay the light bill. Don't have money to do that. Where is it today? Where is it today?
Mr. Fumi,
Yes.
talking about passion does not bring pain. You know, I said it's taken 2 years for you and I to be here today. So our weave has been minimum for 2 years. How
Yeah,
did we manage to pay the bills? How did we still manage to contact the people?
that's
It
right.
does not bring pain.
That's right.
And we're still here talking about it. We're still here on this. That's a proof of your own quote, which says, your passion does not bring pain.
Well, let me just quickly say hello to somebody in Saudi Arabia right now. Her name is Miss Meb. She is my foundation chair. Hey, Miss Meb, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Desiree, thank you for joining. I always like to just acknowledge people so
Yes,
that they know that I see them. And if I do not see you, please bear with me, forgive me as we go on in this. Miss Meb,
Miss Meb, thank you so much. We are going to be putting all your comments on the screen so we can answer each one of you. But as you can imagine, the conversation is coming from really within, and we take our time to really answer all of you. So thank you so much. Before we continue the conversation, we have a statement from True Smith. It says, passion. My team making just one product. I can get 1,000 local people to buy and be happy in the first year, at least 10 per product. Then make another product that each of these people would purchase at 20, then $50, then $100. Then there is a smiley. So once I find my passion, my loyal group will blossom.
wow.
Dr. Fumi, what do you have to say about this comment from True Smith before we?
Now, let me say this about True. She's a trooper right there. She's a trooper. She's
How?
somebody that really gets it because a lot of times, many of us wait till we get the product or the service
Yeah.
before we start to, oh, now we want people to buy it. No. But what she's doing is the right thing. You build, let's say that again. You build your community. You spend time in building your community. It might take you 12 months, it might take you 20, it don't matter. Because here's the thing, for those who rush and do the product and don't have anybody to buy it, versus those who wait and spend 2 3 years building their group, bringing their members, guess who is going to go further? The one who spent the first 2 years grinding, possibly not making a dime, but pushing and giving and adding value. Don't let anybody take advantage of you, though. Let's be clear about that. Do not let anybody take advantage of you. But grinding strategically and taking care of your people so that by the time you have your product, let me give you an example. There is a product that I have out there, right? The product is a masterclass by one of the, I call him my life legend, right? One of my life legends out there, Dr. Stephen Mansfield. He is a New York best-selling author. So the first thing I did was I brought him online like you. I showed him to people. People got to ask questions. I know Dr. E and everybody, many people here know about what I'm talking about. They got to ask questions. But they wanted more. By the time I was done with that interview, I went back to my Facebook. It was over 15,000 people, right? Organic people. I did not promote it, nothing. 15,000 organic people ended up on that. And I left that up there. And so what I ended up doing now was out of that, I created another group, a focus group. My team know that, a focus group. And I said, hey, you guys wanted this guy. Pull out all the questions that people were asking. Pull those questions out for me. They pulled it out for me and they put it in table. Kudos to you ladies. Thank you so much for helping out with that. They put it out there. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Miss Med. It says they said my people in East
Saudi
Middle
Arabia.
East are watching, right? And they pulled all those out. And when they pulled it out, what they came up with for me was what is the kind of masterclass I could now present to this man to offer, right? Not only that, they even gave me the spectrum of the prices that people, and it was a spectrum, so we had to now pick one. Now, when that masterclass came out, he flew in to Nashville. We went to my studio. We did it. It was awesome. You all can go to storytellerbistro.com and check it out. Awesome. With questions and answers. And this is somebody that you never, it's just like me too. It took me, God knows, long. I talked to him, but it took me a while for me to even get him on. But when he was on a roll, he flew in, we did it. When it was ready to be released, guess what? I already had people waiting for it. So if you are a business owner right now, if you are an academic, if you are a career person, it is important for you to understand that you need to build your community. I know some of us are introverts, right? Yeah,
Yes.
and bitroverts, if there's anything like that, in and out troverts. But the truth is, we need community. Hey, Edith, how are you, my dear? We need community.
Yeah.
We need community. So let's tie that into passion. You tie that into passion. Your passion, once you are having an idea and you're thinking to yourself, oh, maybe this is the way, that is the way. This is where your group, hey, Kitonga from Kenya, welcome. This is where your group is good. You can now go back to your group and say people, I'm thinking about these two things. Uh which one serves you best? Which
Yes.
one serves you best? And they can actually help you in molding it. Desiree, welcome. Help you in molding it. And so this is how you begin to enjoy your passion and grow your passion.
Okay. So now let's take. I mean, we've seen so many comments. We have Desiree. We have Ditonga Nancy from Kenya. This is an amazing lady who is making her own shoe brand. And this is what I call true passion because I have seen her grow. I have mentored her and she is making things happen for herself. This is the generation we should not only contribute, but pass on knowledge. And we have Desiree from Texas. We thank you all so much for coming on live. We appreciate you. And this is a platform where we women get to speak the truth to other women. We may all have passion. Each one of us has a passion. But somewhere along the line, it's lost. It's killed by most probably a woman. Sister Fumi, why do we women, from your experience, why do we women bash other women?
Ooh! You just look, that is such a loaded one. And I think I have my policy, my people from Middle East here, and they'll tell there's so much drama going on in Middle East, people. So much drama. Even with, so I can't even go straight into it. But one of the things that I experienced, right, with my team and everybody that we're working together, not only in Middle East, anywhere, women as a whole, we are jealous. Bottom line, I mean, let's just tell the truth. Let's unveil this thing. Let's unpack this thing. Anytime we feel threatened, right? When we feel threatened, when we look at something that we're supposed to celebrate, the first thing that comes to our life, our head is, is this going to be a competition? Is this going to be a competition? Because if this is a competition, then I don't want to be a part of it. But wait a minute now, I'm a Christian, so I have to package it in such a way that is God said, not me, right? God said, not me. And so it's sad, it's a shame that God has given us women power. We are so powerful. Through us, nations are birthed, kings are birthed, queens evolve through us. Prince and princesses, they evolve through us. This is how much power that we have. So that when we open our mouth and say, let there be, guess what? It is. So when we have a child that we say, you this trouble child, all you do is give me trouble, and you are wondering at 28, at 34, that child is still giving you trouble. Well, maybe we need to go back and figure out what we said with our mouth. We have power. So, which means, hey, Miss Mohadi, welcome. So, which means because we have power, right? We have power to tear down, we have power to build up. And so, rather than tear people down, why not turn it around and begin to build up and say, you know what? Look at you got one skills that I don't got. I got one skills that you probably don't got. How about us coming together, just like African Women's Economic and Entrepreneurship Forum, forum, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen,
Yes.
forum, coming together as one, powerful, trying to make a difference. Women, we are in a situation right now, we're in a season right now that I'm telling you, if we do it right, the sky is our limit right now. So don't be worried when doors shut in your face. Don't be worried about that. Don't be worried when people tell you you are no good. Don't be worried when people do not appreciate who you are. Don't even pay them no mind. Do something like this and something like that, and do it like this again and do it like that, until you get it in your spirit to understand that they do not define who you are. They do not define your destination, and they are not going, certainly not going to tell you what your purpose or your passion or your vision or mission in life is.
Exactly. And I love Desiree's comment, which says, we are trained to bash sisters. We are trained, meaning we are our own worst enemies.
That's right. That's right.
As I said from the very beginning, it took us 2.5 years to be here today. We can make history, or we can bash each other, or we can change our narratives.
That's right.
I stand here today. This was not expected. But I'm going to ask you, as a sister who needs you, we need you, Sister Fumi, as a sponsor to our upcoming event in Cape Town, South Africa. You did
Okay.
not know about this. Normally, at the very beginning, we prepared questions, but we stopped this because we wanted to be spontaneous. And this is what comes from the bottom of my heart, that we need you. We need you to be there. We need this generation to pass on the right information of stopping other women, bashing other women, because there is so much that we have, and we're going to take all of this to our graves. Of what good is it? Of what good is it?
Let me, okay, so when, I want you to say again, when is this event in Cape Town? Can you say that again?
It's going to be on the 22nd to the 24th of October 2018 in Cape Town, South Africa, and it's called Financial Freedom for African Women.
All right. So,
But bear in mind, it's not only for African women, it's also of women of African descent and all those who have an African agenda in mind.
okay. So let me say this. Let me just add to that.
Yes.
Right? All of those who have African agenda. Here's the thing. If
Yes.
you're going to be a world renowned person,
Yes.
if you are going to be a global impactful business owner, entrepreneur, career person, it is important that you understand that you do not live alone, right? So,
Yes.
which means that you are able to take your message and spread it outside of your zip code, right? And you're able to go beyond your zip code by connecting with other women in other parts of the world. So, what does that mean? It means that an organization like this and our event like this will be a forum where people come together from all over the world. So if you are hearing me right now, perhaps it is time for you to start saving them dollars and start saving some coins so that you can get yourself to Cape Town. So you and I are going to speak behind the scenes on that more and see what I'm able to do, what I'm not. You and I we talk about that. But
Yeah.
it's important that this kind of forum, right? It's important that we support this kind of forum. We cannot keep sitting around and saying somebody got to change the world. Who is that somebody? Okay, who's that somebody? Yesterday I was speaking with somebody who actually in Liberia. This was a Liberia issue, and she's relocating back from Atlanta, going back to Liberia. She went back home last year, and she had not been home for 30 something years, and she went back home last year. And so she came back to the US, and yesterday we were talking, just mentoring situation. And she said, you know what, it's time to go back home. And she's working on going back home. And we started talking about passion and vision. And she had this big idea, but by the time we were done with the mentoring, she cinched it down. She knew it. She felt good about it. Like, okay, now I know because I've been saying something is wrong with this picture, and now I know. And so once you figure that out, then it's time for you, Gitonga, thank you. It's time for you to now take it and say, you know what? How can I connect with other people in different parts of the world? You are not here. If you're an African living in anywhere else outside Africa, trust me, you are not there just to eat gum gum. You know, let me just put it out to you right there. If you are, let me say that again so that I want you all to understand it very clearly. If you are an African and you are not living in Africa yet, you are not wherever it is you might be right now, is not to eat gum gum or to acquire wealth for yourself and think, oh, later for your people in Africa, right? Even if you are a black American, because you're still an African, right? And thank God for the DNA that's able to let you all know exactly where you came from. Hey, Miss Mohadi, right? So when you are there, then you need to understand that whatever agenda that you have, Ramona, welcome. Whatever agenda that you have right now, you've got to have an avenue that says, how am I going to pay this forward? How am I going to connect this back to Mother Africa? And the mistake that many people are making is Africa is so wealthy. I dare to tell you that Africa is the wealthiest on the planet. Now, they might not be ready to cultivate the wealth. Let's be clear about that right now. All right. It might be that a lot of the wealth is not cultivated yet, but I can guarantee you that Africa is the wealthiest on the continent because there's no part of Africa that you go through that you don't. Yes, you see poverty, right? But you see a whole lot of wealth, uncultivated wealth, uncultivated wealth. This is where African women's economic and entrepreneurship forum, an organization like this is where it comes in, where you're able to now bring not only knowledge, you're able to bring power, you're able to bring money, you're able to bring resources, and able to bring all things. So perhaps, whatever it is that you're trying to do, Miss Mab, you said DNA, yes. Whatever you're trying to do in your life right now, if it's not working out, I would tell you, sit yourself down, hashtag sit yourself down, and begin to say to yourself, okay, maybe I've been looking in this direction. Perhaps this is the direction. Trust me, I'm doing that right now. The
Exactly.
reason why I'm not on Facebook and I've not been on Facebook, this is my first time of coming on Facebook, by the way, for over almost 2 months now. And
Oh,
once I'm done with you, I'm going right back into my cocoon. I'm not coming out again.
I'm glad you came out for me.
I
I'm glad
just
you
popped
came
in.
out. I'm
Yeah,
glad you
I
came
popped
out.
out. That's right. In 2 years
Exactly.
now, you are
And
supposed to do this.
and for this live stream, we created some special hashtags. We all know the African woman is struggling. She has all the potential that's necessary for her to thrive, but she's struggling. She's the mother. She's saving the continent. She's the spouse, the perfect sister, the perfect mother, and this perfect spouse. Yes, she's been betrayed. She's been,
Woo!
humiliated. So for these special women that are out there, they are not only in Africa, they are in Europe, they're in America, they're in Australia. We are all one. And the feeling that we get of our lives is only to give and receive little. But the time is right. The time is right for us to take care of us. The time is right for us to encourage us. So we've come up with special hashtags and would really appreciate it if you really send out this message by Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And the very first one, he works hard saving Africa. He works hard saving Africa. If you are an African woman, you're a black woman, and African descent, and you do not resonate with this, then I'm giving up today. Hashtag is financial freedom for women. No, set her financially free. Set her financially free.
I love that.
Because he works hard and gets nothing for it.
I love that.
Financial freedom for women, for African women, is the next one. They may not be correct on the screen, but I will repeat. First hashtag, he works hard saving Africa. Set her financially free. Financial freedom for African women. And the last one, a wave. I want each one of you watching this live stream today or as a replay to think about it. She works hard saving Africa. Take just that one.
That's powerful.
And if you were to leave this planet today,
that's powerful.
You knew somebody who worked hard.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Did she get enough of how much she gave of her life? Are you getting enough? Are you being recompensated? Are you happy with your life? Or you're just coping? This is what this platform is all about. 2 years down the road, Dr. Fumi and I were patient enough. We are grateful enough that life gave us this long time to be finally.
That's right.
Happen. We worked hard to be here.
That's right.
So please share this video, this live stream with your family and friends. Somebody needs to hear this today. And I want to tell you, American, African, Asian, women in general, we work hard saving this planet. It's time to work hard saving ourselves, and it's not selfish. Dr. Fumi, what do you have to say about that?
Well, let me quickly respond to somebody who said, I think it would connect with what you're talking about. She said, what is holding Africa back? You know, that Africa is full of wealth, and what is holding Africa back? And my answer is you and I. You and I. If you're watching me right now, you're part of the you. YOU. Because for things to happen, they say it takes a village to raise a child, right? It takes a village to raise a child. There are some of you all right now that you're looking and watching me, and you have some skills that are just major skills that Africa you need. But you wouldn't dare to do it. You wouldn't dare to explore, but you would sit in your home and watch all those those news media tell you how terrible Africa is, how you can't even walk on the streets of Africa. And so because of that, you wouldn't go, but then you will lift Africa up. You will leave Africa to those who are spongers, to those who go and essentially financially rape Africa. They essentially go and rape Africa of all the products, all the services, all the resources, and come back. And whereas you that are needed are sitting on your turf and saying, well, it must not be me they're talking to. So why is Africa not growing? Africa is growing, and that's a fact. If you're sitting here thinking Africa is not growing, you need to check yourself. Because let me tell you something. The last time I went to Nigeria, I literally had to look at myself and say, dang, what have you been doing, sister? And I saw, and don't blame me, I saw all the white folk. My husband is white, so I'm not being bashful here. So let's just stop that now. I saw them white folk all over the place, and I said, wait a minute here. What is going on? I've been gone for all this while. and this place is infiltrated by people from other country making it work. So what's gonna take to happen? Well, a conference like this in Cape Town, right? Where people come together, women that are powerful come together and say, you know what? How can we help Africa? And let me say something. When you're helping Africa, you're helping yourself, really, because you're going to be wealthy too. It's not a question of you're just giving to Africa. No, it's an exchange. It's an exchange of knowledge, exchange of resources, exchange of finances, exchange of power.
Yeah. As a journalist, I must bring it all down. It's not a political platform. It's not why Africa is not growing.
That's
It's
right.
not why Europe is more advanced.
That's right.
Because we find, like Brené Brown once said in her quote, if you go out there looking for reasons why you do not belong, you will find it.
That's right.
If you keep telling me why Africa is not evolving, you will find all those. Just put on your TV, you will find the reason. But the truth is, as a journalist, what you see on TV is what people are requesting for.
That's right.
So let's cut the crap. Africa is not evolving. Yes. Europe is evolving. Yes. There are reasons why it's not evolving. But you and I are here talking about women, finance. Maybe that could give you a hint, because if Africa valued its most valuable resource, which is
Yeah.
women,
That's right.
then Africa will not be poor. We could go to the colonial level, we could go to the white people, black people. That's another topic of its own.
That's right.
But the problem is, charity begins at home.
That's right.
We Africans cannot even defend Africans.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We backstab,
That's right.
gossip, we betray, we steal husbands,
That's right.
we, make our children not be better off than we are. We mothers, we do that to our children. These are all the reasons why Africa is not growing. That does not mean that it doesn't have what it takes to become a powerful continent. As much as the bad exists, there is the good.
That's right.
And on this platform, we want to concentrate on the good. And you and I are the good.
That's right.
You and I are the poison. We are more dangerous to each other than men are to each
That's
other.
right. That's right. That's right.
So let's face the fact, Africa is not progressing because of us.
That's
We
right.
do not ask for what we are worth.
That's right.
We betray one another because of a man.
That's right.
And then you have colonial. Yeah, we can go on and on and on. But the point is, started. We have started. We acknowledge our failures. We acknowledge our weaknesses. And I take this stand today. Any woman, be you in Europe, in Africa, in Australia, that have hurt intentionally or unintentionally, I'm sorry.
Okay, let me follow you on that.
I'm so sorry.
I want to
I'm
follow
so sorry.
you. That's right. I want to follow you on that. Because there are times you never know that you offend people and you're just doing your life. So I say that too, that if there is any woman out there that I might have offended, I'm sorry. So can we move on into, because somebody said, Dr. E said it quite eloquently. He says African women are Africa's most valuable commodity. And the truth is, when we start bringing and supporting African women and their businesses, when we can trust them, number one, trust them to deliver what they say they will deliver, and then we back them up and we begin to collide with them and create businesses and opportunities out there, it forces Africa to really look at women. Last night I was talking to somebody about the president of Liberia, the former
Yes.
president of Liberia, Salif, right?
Yeah.
And she's a Liberian. This lady is a Liberian, but she never heard that story before. And I was shocked. And I was telling her how everything that she went through, 3 times she got imprisoned, went out into exile, gathered herself back again, went back in again, then grabbed her again. She didn't win. She went back again until, but she said the last time, she said, okay, I'm ready for you all now. I'm ready for you all now. And I know that I'm meant to be a president. And so, but when we begin to have powerful financial backings, women, majority, many women that are being backed, owners, they're becoming business owner. People will begin to listen more to them. And before we know it, frankly, I want to see more African women become presidents. I'm sorry. I want, that's what I want to see. But I know that from the area that I come from in Nigeria, I was looking at the whole politician thing last week, and I said, well, but why can't a woman do this? But I know that they don't want it. I say frankly now, I'm on live Facebook, but they know I'm not lying. But I don't think that they don't want it. And the truth is, if a woman, if we women are that powerful, we're resourceful. Look at, when we are poor and don't know nothing to do, and can't eat, can't do nothing, what do? We do whatever we need to do. If we have to take off the clothes off of our backs. Now, men on the other hand, they will keep going, falling and pretending, falling until they croak, and then they commit suicide so that nobody can see. But we women, we make lemonades out of lemon, and even out of the remaining lemon, we still make something else. So imagine that kind of woman becoming president. Imagine that kind of woman becoming the minister of mines. Imagine that kind of woman becoming the financial minister. Imagine that kind of woman. So this is where organizations like this matter. As we begin to go forward, then they begin to see, whoa, these African women, they got friends all over. They're not just doing this by themselves in Africa. There are people that if they become a minister of this, if they become the vice presidents of this, they know people they can call. They can call on their folks all over the world to help.
Yeah.
So this is where we're going with this.
Yeah, exactly. And I would like to remind each one of you watching this live stream today, there is the political side of Africa, but we are talking of passion. We're talking about our passion, right? And I've always explained that my passion is to help other African women acquire financial freedom.
That's right.
Through multiple income streams so they can make better decisions from a place of ease.
That's right.
If I was 20 years old and I had that place, I'm talking of a place of ease and abundance when I could decide, my life would have been different. Mm-hmm. Maybe it would have not been good. I don't know. Nobody knows. But the truth is, looking at my life today, it was so much a torture that I just wish I had that ease. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean having this ease, abundance, you would make the right decision. Mm-hmm. What we are trying to say is that the number of women making wrong decisions, selling their bodies, becoming slaves of things that they do not even want to do, just because they are financially dependent, is huge. It's time we start to close that gap. Where we are now is because of what we've depended on. We've depended on the men to bring us to a certain stage. This is the result. Are you happy with it? Are you happy with it? So if the answer is yes, fine. If the answer is no, which I think for me and the majority is no, then we've got to do something different. And we've got to look on the other side of the coin, which is the women. The women, because we've been counting on the men, that they will marry us, they will have us, give us security, they will give us this when we are wives, when we are mothers. But we find ourselves in the same place. So why don't we have, let's take a bet on ourselves and trust ourselves. Encourage ourselves. Those of you in the US, you may see Africa on TV as dirty and everything. Think of the allergies you're having right now. Let me tell you something. In Rwanda, you can have your own cosmetics of yours, natural product, allergy free or additives free. These are just some of the things that you can benefit from Africa. Natural product without additives. There's so many things. The list is long. I'm not saying go and explore other African women. What I'm saying is now is the time for women to prove their worth. We've been complaining about men. Let's try to trust one another. This is the platform. These are the women we have to talk to. What are we going to do? How can we take this forward? We can take this forward by trusting one another. There's still going to be betrayal. There's still going to be backstabbing. But it takes one person, maybe one person a day, a month, or a year. I don't know. But we've got to start something. What do you say about that, Dr. Fumi?
Well, I tell you, there is power in unity. All right. So anytime that there's unity, there's also the other side, flip side of it, of, you know, people saying, okay, let's unite for the wrong thing, or we unite for the right thing. And this is where it's important that when you have a vision and a passion, I like the way that you keep bringing this back to passion, because we have to take this. This is Africa is like a big meat. It's like a big steak, right? And you have to learn to eat it little by little. And even as you eat it little by little, you eat with people. You don't eat alone. Because in Africa, we sit around a plate and we eat. In
Yes.
Saudi Arabia, they do the same thing. They take a big plate in the middle and they sit around and they eat. It's amazing when I watch them sit around and the students sit around and they eat like that. That is whatever chunk that you feel like God has called you to, right? Hashtag she works hard in Africa, saving Africa. You have to look at it and say, okay, who are the other people that I can bring into this little piece that I
Yes.
have? We have a passion to do all this kind of stuff. It is all good, but your passion too is interconnected. That's
Yes.
another line. Bam.
Yes.
I just gave you a nugget there.
Yeah.
Your passion is interconnected. If you have something in your head now that is not connected to nobody, connected to nothing, you might want to drop that thing now. Wait, wait a little bit, because your passion is interconnected with others. God does not just give you something just so for you to look pretty and just acquire money and then lay down and sleep and die full with all the knowledge and everything and go and just die full. That's not the plan of God for our lives. And so when we stand together, you want to make sure that you're standing each in his own truth with your own passion, interlocked, interconnected.
Yeah.
So when you have a forum like African Women's Economic Forum, it interlocks. When
Yeah.
you have an opportunity for women to come out to Cape Town, right? Then that is time for them to check out their synergy and see how things interlock. So that perhaps there may be a business in Africa that you all did everything and bam, it's going to cost 15 million. And not everybody has 15 million. But guess what? This is where the forum is cool, because now you all have come to Cape Town. You've cut bread with each other. You've wined with each other. You've dined with each other. You've prayed together. You've fellowship together. You understand each other more. Then you can say, sister, what you got? Okay, I got 10,000. What you got? I got 15. What you got? I got this. What you got? I don't have 10,000, but I have the knowledge that you need. Okay, what you got? And you all can come together now and say, you know what? And then face the man world and say, oh, okay. So the man is in the office saying, yeah, I have the check. And the woman come and say, not only do I have the check, I have a crew. Can I have that business now? Can I have that contract? Because I don't know. I'm not just talking about money. I have the crew. I have the backing, not just here, but all over the world.
Exactly. And this is a package. It's amazing. This is a package. When people connect for the right reasons, things come out. What we have here, what we're trying to do is we're trying to tell African women worldwide and those who have an African agenda that there are systems which are already in place. We have the results, but we can make those results better. For example, in Cameroon, in Africa, they have something like Susu, they call it in
Yes, yes,
Gandhi. This system already exists.
yes.
But here in Awif, what we are trying to do, and we're telling women, is that your Susu, your Njangi, your Njati is not giving you interest.
That's
What
right.
we're trying to do, between a period of 12 to 24 months, we gather a number of women, maybe 10, and we buy a property in a risk-free country. Real estate investment is the number one income source for financial freedom in our portfolio, real estate. I was in Spain several weeks ago. I just came back from Spain on Monday because that's the top country in the world where people invest in. So this is what we're trying to say to women. You don't have to have millions. You don't have to have hundreds because we are coming together. So we can have that money, just like you would do with your susu.
That's right.
It's much more longer term and it's a solid
That's right.
investment.
That's right. That's right. I love that. I love the fact that you mentioned real estate, because when you look at even any part of the world, right? Even in America here, majority of the people that are wealthy, I'm yet to see a wealthy person that do not own real estate. I don't.
Now you're talking.
Oprah owns
Now
real estate.
you're talking. Now you're
Trump
talking.
owns real estate. I've never seen. I'm yet to see, if anyone called themselves a multimillionaire, there is a real estate somewhere.
Yes, yes, there is. There are many real estate investment. And this is what I think African women can really, this is what they don't do. They're not, it's a man's thing in Africa. You know, having houses or be, yeah, it's a man thing. And this is why I'm telling women, if you don't like, you don't have to like me. Because you may not, you know, you may be angry with me for whatever reason, but
That's
in
right.
this portfolio, you don't need to know me. You
That's
don't
right.
need to like me.
That's right.
You need to know is that you're getting your 8%, 9%,
Exactly.
12%.
Exactly.
This is what
Exactly.
you need to know. But it's the same system that you've been using every time. But that same system you're using every time, you go there just to gossip and get money every once per year. So let's do things differently. This is what AWIF is all about. Using the system that we already have. We're talking about life insurance. We're talking about, you know, income streams like, again, real estate is the number one for us. And we're looking at investing in different African countries, but also outside of Africa. So all of you Americans thinking you want to create your product, Africa is a good place for you, especially when it comes to well-being product, beauty product.
Yes.
Look into Africa. The shea butter in your hair, in your
Yes.
skin.
Yes.
Look into Africa. Explore the option of Africa and explore the option of working with African women. When you go through the men, you think you have guarantee, but behind curtains is all women.
That's right.
I want you to trust them today.
That's
Start
right.
today asking, who are those behind the curtains? That's where the beauty lies. Mr. Fumi.
Well, let me let me what you just said now just brought a story to my mind. I just remember this story, and I think this happened about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, one of those years that I was taking some people out to Nigeria to work with me, and I saw this bag. They call it Ghana Must Go, right?
Yeah, I know it. I know it. I know it.
Anybody buys this thing on the streets, and you don't even, you put something in it, you put gari in it, you put food, you put clothes, but you never take it out. You take it in, it doesn't come out with you. Okay, so this year I said, okay, I'm gonna watch the high fashion show in Paris, right? So I'm sitting watching this show, and guess what was on the show on the runway? Ghana Must Go. So when I first saw it, I said, no, 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 I didn't see that. And the next day, Oprah had it on her show as one of the best. That thing that she does, the best product of the year or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
she had it, and so the designer started selling it minimum $800. Ghana must go.
no.
$800. I almost passed out. And I said to myself, do you know how many times they begged me at the airport to buy some? And I said, I don't need it. I said, do you know? I almost passed out. I said to my sisters, oh my God, that is lost opportunity right there.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you know? Till now, is it Ghana must go has become in Paris is become the shit thing that
yeah,
people were carrying around, and then when Oprah put a little thing on it, it became $800 minimum for a small bag, not even the big one, small bag
yeah,
of Ghana must go.
yeah. Yeah.
And that
I
is out
mean,
of Africa. But when you
yeah,
see it on the runway of Paris now, nobody is saying it came from Africa.
yeah. Okay, but it happens also for products that are from Asia, and it's just poor marketing from Africa. You and I can laugh about it, but other people cherish it. Sometimes when my husband say we go to Cameroon at the beaches, and he says the Kribi beach is known as one of the best, and I'm like, what? That's just a beach, and he said, but Lillian, you don't understand. That beach is one of the best beaches, and he showed me, and I'm like, seriously? So you don't appreciate what you have. But this is the big lesson for all of us. Our topic of today is your passion is worth millions.
That's
So
right.
in 2018, please give us 3 tips on how to even recognize that passion. Because sometimes we might not even know. It's just something, but we don't know what the passion is.
Tip number one. I think we've been throwing a lot of tips earlier anyway.
Yes,
So tip number one, it has to be something that you don't have to pay for. You don't have to be paid for. When you don't have to be paid for it and you know you must do it,
yeah.
then you need to check that out.
Okay.
Number two, understand that it's interconnected. It cannot just stand on its own. You can't say, "Oh, God made me a drawer," and then you're in your bedroom just drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing. That don't make sense
Yeah.
because your passion is always it interconnects you with other people,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so it takes you outside of yourself
Yes.
and blesses other people,
Yes.
and in turn, it blesses you back. That's your passion.
Yeah.
And then number three, understand that you have an inner compass anyway. There's an inner compass in you
Mhm.
that directs you.
Mhm.
Trust that inner compass.
Okay. Okay.
Trust your inner compass. This is where many of us miss it. We
Mm.
do not trust our inner compass. We wake up and our inner compass is saying, eat that food. And then when you go out, environment adds its own and says, oh, I don't think this is the day to eat it. Oh, da 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 da. And then before you know, you start telling yourself, oh, maybe I'm not even meant to eat the food. And before you know it, you miss that opportunity. Trust your inner compass.
Good.
Understand. Now, for you to trust your inner compass, it means that you've been feeding that inner compass. Because if that inner compass is dry and you've not been feeding it with the right stuff,
Yeah.
then the wrong stuff will come out. So
Yeah.
let's just be clear about that. You feed your soul, feed your spirit, feed your mind with knowledge, take some master classes, do whatever you need to do. Engage with other people, like what we're talking about in forum here. Reach out to other people. What are you doing here? What are you doing? This is what I'm doing right now. I'm in the throes of just reaching out to people now and saying, hey, I see that you're doing something better than I am. And in the area of media, I want to go to the next level. And so, in the last few days now, what I've done is actually reach out to somebody that is at that level who already has a show that is in
Yeah.
over 350 stations already. So now, she's the right person to talk to. So I reach out to her and say, look, yeah, all right, let's have some lunch. The lunch is on me. Let's talk. How can we make this happen? So understand that your passion, right? You have to interconnect it. Then always seek confirmation. That's another gyra. They call it gyra in Africa, in
Yeah,
Nigeria. That's
right.
a gyra for you. That's a bonus for you. Seek confirmation. Wait for confirmation. Many of us are too much in a hurry. Yeah, I know you've been trying to do this in 10 years. Yes, you still have to wait for the right season, the right time, the right place, the right people, the
Dr.
right you.
Dr. Fumi, it took us 2 years to have a
That's right.
live stream. What?
That's right.
How many years will it take for a process with business?
Wait for confirmation, right, Dr. E? Wait for confirmation. Oh, let me add one more thing. Perhaps you are in an area that you are not really, even if you're not in an area, if it is an area that you know, find a mentor and stick with your mentor. Now, one of my mentees really taught me something because at some point I wanted to get rid of her. I said, "Okay, you're done now. Let's go." She said, "No, I'm not going anywhere." So I said, "No, no, no. You got this mentorship wrong. I'm telling you right now, you're free to go." She said, "That's you, but I'm not going anywhere." And it was I think it was a month ago that I interviewed her, and I finally understood why she did that. During the interview, she said to me, I think I have the interview still on Facebook, and she said, what people don't understand is mentorship is a lifetime thing.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
lifetime
Yes.
relationship, is a lifetime experience. She said, so now you understand why you're not getting rid of me anytime soon, because I'm not going. She said, I'm not. And whereas you have some that they're not patient enough, they want you to touch them. They look at you like you're a magician. They don't do what they're supposed to do, and yet they're expecting you to be the one to perform miracle. And whereas the miracle is within them, not within you. The
Yes.
miracle is within them. You
Exactly.
are just a midwife to help them to release that miracle. And
Yes.
you have people out there that are not patient enough with themselves. They're not patient with people. They want to quickly run all over the place. And at the end of the day, they run around and still come back to zero. And then they're bitter at their mentor and say, oh, it's all the mentor's fault. Now, there's a little to what mentor can do because the mentor is just a midwife. Don't forget it. The mentor is not the one carrying the baby. You are.
Mhm.
You are carrying the baby.
Absolutely. And I should also go back again to the African context of it all. I insist to the fact that we all have what we need, but we are using it in as we used to use it years behind. Those mentors were our grandma.
That's right.
And they will give you all those little stories. I remember my great grandma, she will sing this song to me and she says, Liko wakoko, liko wakoko.
Oh,
This is a C, this is a not, this they are different between and as a child I still remember she's dead, yeah, gone, gone, gone. But I still remember and I'm hanging on to that.
that's right.
That was a mentor.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
something that goes on. If life could continue, it's telling me this because this is what my soul is yearning for.
That's right.
So I really appreciate you bringing these stories on. I appreciate that we could finally have a conversation and
Yes.
that we be there for African women and all the women in the diaspora who are of African descent
That's right.
and those European who have an African agenda in mind.
That's right. That's right.
We are all women and our suffering are the same. It's time to think about it. Dr. Fumi, it was an absolute pleasure spending these few minutes with you. You do not understand how much joy it is to me that I finally got you on this life. After 24 months, I gave birth. I'm not pregnant anytime soon, but
Oh
yes,
my gosh.
that was a long time. And I know there's so much going to come out of this.
Yes.
And I would like to remind you, like I really remind all our Awifians, you are a star that makes a difference.
That's right.
Thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We need you. We need your encouragement. We need your empowerment. Please
Yes, yes.
help us out.
We will definitely talk behind scenes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for all the work you're doing out there, for
Thank
all the encouragement. I watch your live streams, and it's a pleasure, it's a pride to watch you move from one thing to the next, writing books, moving from the US to the Middle East and going back to Africa. Keep doing what you're doing. You're,
you. Thank you.
you're really needed.
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate you and I love you.
Love you too. Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. We really
Thank you
appreciate you.
so much. We should take the time to really acknowledge our live viewers
Yes.
because without you, this show is nothing. And we know among you, we have sisters, we have connections. We appreciate you, each one of you.
Love you too, Desiree. Love you too.
I
Thank
have
you so
all
much.
of your comments on the screen to show you how much we appreciate you. Mokadi,
Hey, Miss Mohadi, she's one of my passes in the Middle East. So thank you.
thank you so much for coming on live. Nancy from Kenya.
Remember that your passion is worth millions, so
Exactly.
protect it. Your passion is worth millions, protect it.
Exactly. True Smith, Ruth from Nigeria,
Hey, Ruth,
Mokadi, Nancy.
Miss Meb,
Thank you all so
Desiree,
much.
Dr. E,
Dr. E, thank you
Douglas, thank you.
so much for all you've done today. Thank you for sharing out this live stream because people need to hear this.
Yes.
They may not be live, but they're going to catch it as a replay. Thank you all so much. Texas, Africa, Texas, USA, Europe.
Can I just quickly before we close, can I quickly add this? Right now I'm in the process of writing a chronicle, and I'm looking for 21 powerful women, extraordinary women,
Okay?
who will co-author that book with me. And so if you are out there that you have a story that you want to share and become a part of a best-selling book, please reach out to me. Reach out to me. It's 21. It's just going to be 21 people, no more than 21 people that I
Mhm.
want to feature in this book. So reach out to me.
Good. If you would like to reach out to Dr. Princess Fumi, you have all her details on the screen right now. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you, and we'll know. We really, really know that something amazing is going to come out from this conversation. Africa is waiting for you. Africa is ready. The women are ready to collaborate. The women are ready to change their narratives. It's time we come together. You cannot dim my shine.
That's good.
Look at the sky. There are so many stars. They each have their places. They each have their places. So take your stand, shine your light, because you are needed. You take care of yourself, and we'll catch you again next week. Thank you so much, Dr. Fumi. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye now.
Bye. So that was it for you today, ladies. I hope you found some value. There was so many important information here. If you would really like to contact Dr. Fumi, please do not hesitate to let us know. Send us an email and we're going to put you in contact with her. If you would like to be part of the Awif community, like our page, share this live stream, send me an email. And our event is coming up in Cape Town, South Africa. We hope to see many of you because we know the time is right for us to become financially free so we can make better decisions from a place of ease and abundance. My name is Lilian Mole. I care about you, and I'm wishing you all a great evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Bye bye.